welcome to New Nail Tech Success, where I help you get started as a nail tech. Rita here, how y'all doing? I'm doing great. So today I'm going to show you guys how to do a nail prep. Yes, so that you can make awesome acrylics, gorgeous gels, and magnificent manicures. And to do that, it all starts with a perfect nail prep. Okay, you have to do this before each service just to make sure that you always get the best results in your work, you guys. So what I'm showing here is the tools that you'll need to do your nail prep. This is a cuticle pusher. This is where you would push the cuticle back. I'll show you in a minute. And on the end, this is where you would scrape the cuticle off. Nice tool to have. You definitely have to have a cuticle pusher. You have your nail brush, your cuticle nippers, and your nail clippers, and an orange wood stick. Okay, these are the 5 tools you'll need to do a perfect nail prep. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so here's my client that is going to get a nail prep. As you can see, in dire need of shaping and an overall cleaning and just basic nail prep. So I'm going to go ahead and start first, which is the first step, is to go ahead and trim the nails. Now your client may not want their nails trimmed, depending on what they want. Of course you have to oblige them, but this client is going to go ahead and get their nails trimmed. Now depending on the length of the nail, you may use your file to take down the length, but because these nails are long, I am using my nail clippers to go ahead and take down the length on the nails. Okay, and this is all you have to do. You don't want to make it too, short to where, let me get in frame, too short. Okay, and just gonna go ahead and finish with the thumb. You don't want to cut the nails too low because you don't want to cause them pain. So that's a nice length for whatever service you're going to do, acrylic, gel, and again it goes by the client's preference. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim the nails. First, here's a tip, you guys. These files first off are pretty beat up, but I just want to tell you, when using a new file, you have to scrub it because the edges of a file are sharp and they will cut your clients like a paper cut. So you just want to go ahead and scrub the edges of 2 files to get that sharpness off of the sides. What I like to do is break my file in half. When I'm doing this, because it gives me better control. Now this is a 100/180 grit file. If you don't know, the higher the number is on the file, the softer it is. And the lower the number, the more coarse the file is. So when you are going ahead and doing a nail prep, my opinion is you don't need anything higher than a 180 grit file to do your whole nail prep. So what I'm going to do here is just basically shape the nails. And again, that goes by the client's preference. I usually follow the trace of the eponychium, the skin. If the client doesn't have a preference, I follow that shape. So this is like an oval shape eponychium. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do the client in an oval shape. And just a quick tip, when you are filing, you just want to make sure you do not saw back and forth on the nail. You just want to go in one direction and then go in the other direction to get it to the shape that you want. One direction this way and then one direction that way. This way you're not causing like a splintery effect on the nail and damaging the nail, because that's our goal. We always want to preserve and protect the natural nail and not cause any damage on the nail at all. Okay, so now that the nails are shaped, next thing I'm going to do is take my orange wood stick, and what you can do is basically gently go under each nail if you see anything under there, and just remove it. But because I went ahead and used the clippers, I cut away the debris that was, the dirt and debris or whatever that was under the nails. That was done. That was on. Okay guys, so the next step is where we go ahead and we use the cuticle pusher. And I didn't tell you this, but this is my young nephew who's helping me. You know, boys don't care about their nails at all. So, yeah, I thought he would be a good candidate to show how to do a good prep. So he's a good sport about that. So anyway, the next step, we're going to go ahead and push back the eponychium, which is the skin around the nail. It's not the cuticle. That's not the cuticle. I always stress that. And you just want to go ahead and gently just push it back. Okay? Gently push it back. I don't use water or anything or cuticle remover to do this because I think it's unnecessary. Unless you have a client who, you know, has a lot of cuticle buildup or their skin around their nails are just so plastered to the nail that it's hard to move. But as you can see, his nails were in pretty bad condition, but even still, because I'm using just a gentle pressure, I'm still able to move it back. I'm still able to move the skin back without any unnecessary cuticle remover or adding any water. Okay, but I do use it from time to time if I really have that really bad client to where, you know, I'm just hurting them when I'm doing this gently. Even if I'm doing it gently, I'm hurting them. So you want to go ahead and push this back as much as you can so that you can expose as much of the natural nail so that you can have a bigger surface to work on. That just makes sense. The more surface you have to work on, the better it is for your application. And as you can see around here, that's the cuticle, you guys. That's the cuticle. Once you push back the skin on the nail, you will start to see if there is cuticle, which is the white stuff there. And what you want to do after you push back the cuticle, you're going to go ahead now and remove any cuticle. Okay? See, it's some on the side coming there. And you just go ahead and then you can use your other end of your cuticle nipper to remove it. You want to do a nice thorough job of this, you guys, because more than likely, if you're having any lifting in your nails, it's because there's dead skin on the nail that hasn't been removed, which is the cuticle. And you don't want to get aggressive with this. Again, you want to be gentle in your movements, but also deliberate in your movements too. Okay, and see, it's coming up. And you can see it, and if you go high enough on the nail, you'll be able to go ahead and get it flicked up. You see how it's coming up? That's why this is a great tool. There's variations to this, but I like this one because it has a scooping. You can turn around and then scoop the cuticle off. Once you use this side to get it up gently, then you can turn it around and scoop it off. And then if it's really resistant, as you see here, you can go ahead and gently just take it off. It's like a little, not a knife, but just a little, for lack of a better word, scissor to go ahead and really get that off. And when I use cuticle remover sometimes, it's hard to really see if I'm getting it all. But because I haven't used any water or cuticle remover, I can clearly see that that cuticle coming off the nail, and I can see that I'm pretty much getting it off. And that's what you want to do to each and every nail. Take your time and get it off. Get it off. As you can even see, the difference here where I'm pointing between the natural nail and the cuticle area that I lifted up, you'll see a difference. You know, if it's done right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take my nipper. This is where a lot of people get this wrong. They will go ahead and take the nippers and nip the eponychium. Why would you do that? These nippers are only supposed to be used for anything that's hanging, such as hangnails. Okay? If there was any cuticle that I couldn't get up, I could pluck it off the top of the nail. But as far as cutting around the skin here, that's a no-no. Sometimes there will be cuticle that will come. Sometimes there'll be skin right across here. Not skin. Yeah, dried white skin across the ridge of the eponychium. And you can go ahead and gently pluck that. Gently. You know. But really, you guys, you shouldn't be sawing and nipping every little thing that you can see. You know, like I said, hangnails, yes. And, you know, pieces of cuticle that's hanging off. Other than that, leave these nippers alone. I'm cleaning the nails off with alcohol. 91% alcohol, you guys. And you should really, when you're doing this, you should be able to hear like a squeak, squeak, squeak on that nail. You want to apply firm pressure so that you can make sure that you are really getting into the nail grooves, which is the side of the nail, And when you are doing this, use lint-free wipes. This is actually a paper towel, the Viva paper towel, cut into squares, and it does a really good job because it's so thick it is like a cloth. So you just clean off this nail very, very good. You're using vigorous strokes. So the next step is to remove the shine off of the nail. And the way that I do that is I hold the file vertical and I go lightly across the nail, making sure that I turn it to the side. Now the reason why I go vertical is because that's the way that the nail grows, vertically. And when you go across, that saws into the nail, and again, it splinters the nail plate. And that's not what we want to do. We just want to gently remove the shine. I am using the, again, the 180 grit file. And just making sure, again, that I'm just going lightly over the nail. Then, all I'm going to do is wipe that off. Okay, so I'm going to just do it again on a bigger nail so you can see. I'm just lightly etching it, paying attention to really make sure that I'm getting the shine off the side of the nail and paying attention to the tips of the nail, because that's where, you know, if you're doing manicures, gel polish, that's where the polish likes to chip first. And if you're putting on tips, you really want to make sure that you get that shine off so that the tip will adhere quickly onto the nail, as well as if you're sculpting, it's going to make sure that that acrylic adheres to that nail plate kind of quickly. Alright, and again, I'm just going to go ahead and clean off my nail. And you just want to do this thoroughly on each nail. And remembering again not to touch the nail. Okay, and those are the basic nail prep steps for any nail service. Gel manicures, gel polish, acrylic. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. If this video has been helpful, go ahead and like and please subscribe. So until next time, you all, take care.